Hello everybody, this is Editor Skyler. Just wanted to pop in real quick before we get into today's episode because there is a point of clarification that I need to make about an aspect of Dungeons & Dragons as well as Magic the Gathering. Some of you may remember, a little while back, I uploaded a little video to the podcast explaining the 5 different colors in the color theory of Magic the Gathering. Each of those 5 colors are represented by mana within the worlds of Magic the Gathering. And there are different races of creatures and monsters that are embodiments or representations of each color of mana. For example, goblins, like Krenko and his gang, are often red mana associated, while angels are representative of white mana. One of the different kinds of creatures that represents black mana is demons. Now, demons outside of D&D and Magic the Gathering in the real world have a very scary and a very evil connotation. And I want to make the clarification that in this podcast, if we ever mention demons or demons ever come up, we are talking about a monster, not that different from a dragon or a mimic or a Tarask. They're just monsters that are the physical embodiment of black mana. Now that we have that out of the way, just one more thing before I let Bartholomew and intro Skyler kick us off. We here at Fireside Dice, we're relatively new to podcasting. We're still figuring things out, and that is especially so when it comes to the audio quality of our recordings. For those of you that have stuck it out and have made it this far into the show, I want to thank you for being patient with us. We're still figuring out how this whole thing works. We're really far ahead in recordings, and so it's going to be a couple more episodes before it really starts to get fine-tuned. But again, thank you for your patience, and without further ado, let's move on with today's episode of Fireside Dice.
Well, hello there, friends. This is your friendly neighborhood storyteller Bartholomew here to let you know that the events in today's episode get a little bit intense, so some parental guidance is recommended. Oh, hello, friend. Come, join us by the fire. The story's about to begin.
Welcome back to Fireside Dice. Last time we had a little bit of an interesting session where we followed Bartholomew and Bafuur, our double Bs, or our big bad boys, depending on however you want to call them. We followed them and their initial time on Innistrad, at least for Bafuur. Bartholomew, it seems at least he's been there before. This was due to a little bit of player conflict, and we have a little bit of that again this time. And so this time, we're going to be following Suri and see what happens with her as she comes back to her home plane. Our other player today, Skyler, he will be playing as a backup character that he's made, who is entirely relevant to the plot. I assure you of that much already. So, Suri, we're going to start out with you. As you were preparing to leave from Bartholomew's house, it was, not sure if bittersweet's the right word, but it definitely, there's been a sense of, do I have to go back? I want to go back. I don't want to go back. What's going to happen?
Yeah, like a melancholy.
Very much so. And as you leave Ravnica, you enter this swirling gray mist, which in Magic the Gathering terms is called the Blind Eternities. In Dungeons & Dragons, most people would know it as the Astral Plane. It's kind of this space between worlds where nothing is quite the same. And for Suri, the first time that she traveled, she thought she was just going in a particularly dense patch of fog. But now that you know that you're a planeswalker, it's different. It feels, in a way, more sinister. Because as you enter into the Blind Eternities, you can feel the pressure coming from your patron. And as you reach down into your satchel and grab onto Elbrus, the Binding Blade, you can feel the influence of your patron pushing you away from where your friends are going. You can almost see the fog almost lift as you are forced entirely off of Innistrad. And you can see floating octahedrons made of stone. And you can hear your patron say, "Go here." I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, man. 15.
That is just enough. Do you want to continue with where your patron is going, or do you want to continue to Innistrad?
Suri will continue to Innistrad because that was her original intention.
And you can hear this almost wail, anguish, something along those sorts of lines. A no, just an overwhelming sense of dread in going back to Innistrad. You can tell that your patron is displeased.
Oh.
But you end up on Innistrad. Looking up, you can see the twilight sky, the perpetual twilight of Stensia, your homeland, and it's kind of bittersweet. You're back.
Do I recognize any of the immediate surroundings, or it's probably pretty dazing, huh?
Considering the confrontation that you just had with your patron, it's a little bit jarring. So you know that you're in Stensia. As to exactly where in the province, you do not know.
Okay. I guess, yeah, what are my immediate surroundings?
You can tell that you're on the slopes, the slopes of some foothills. If you're looking out, you can just barely past the trees see that there's a lake. There's several lakes in the area, but they're all in kind of these inland valleys between these mountains. And as you look much further on, you can actually see what almost looks to be a volcano, which you guess would be the Ashmouth. Put you a little bit west of where your home would be at, and you would guess that this is in the Outland Valleys, which, if you roll a history check for me, I might be able to get you a little bit of further knowledge.
I don't think that history check's going to help. I got a 6.
6? No, it doesn't really help. I mean, you know that the Ashmouth will put you west of where your home is. Not so far west that you've hit Nephalia, but it looks like you're in the Outland Valleys.
Okay. I'm just gonna start. I'll start heading west until I'll keep an eye out for any like distinguishing paths or anything, or like landmarks that I might recognize.
So continuing to the west, there's not a whole lot out here beyond the forest. Erasmus, we're going to switch over to you as Suri is traveling through this forest.
All right.
Now, this is happening back on Ravnica and is happening probably during the time of the search for Krenko. You are a Dimir spy, part of the information network that secretly holds the threads behind all the goings-on in Ravnica. You've been tasked with several different missions in the past, and you know exactly where to go to find your dead drop, to find the information that you need to do next. Going to an unsuspecting trash can, you just reach inside, go to the upper lip, where presumably like chewing gum and that sort of thing would be hanging, and you just pull off a small iridescent strand of characters. And in reading it, it says, "New mission, meet in the usual location."
All right. I'll go ahead and dispose of the information in whatever way I need to make sure that it doesn't get picked up by anyone else, and I'm going to head to the information point.
Going to your standard information point, a place called Bane Alley. And there's actually several places in the 10th district that are called Bane Alley. It's a place where commonly people go to request things of the House Dimir. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not. But going to your standard Bane Alley, you actually find a Vidalkin there, someone that you know decently well, at least for how well people know the Dimir. This is
Okay.
the informant.
All right.
He's like your main contact.
Yeah.
And something else that you should know is that there are multiple factions within House Dimir.
Okay.
You're in a little bit of a smaller subcategory, at least according to your knowledge. And most of these, if not all, except for yours, don't know about planeswalkers. It's not common knowledge on Ravnica.
But like my little group, it's common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As to how they know about it, you don't know. But you've been tested, and it seems as though you're compatible with whatever allows people to travel between different worlds.
So they know.
Yep, they know, you know, and they know. The informant tells you, I've checked for peat bugs. We're not being watched. This is coming from the top.
Interesting.
Very much so. Strangest thing is, they're telling you to go off-world.
Okay. That's unexpected.
Apparently there's a group that has information regarding the Krenko incident that's been going on.
Okay.
You heard about that, right?
I've heard rumors. I may have heard a little bit about this group, actually. They're not.
I need you to roll a history
subtle.
check. And at advantage because you're part of the rumor mill.
You said advantage, right?
Yep.
18.
18. So here is what you are aware of. This group doesn't seem like they're an older group. They're relatively new. They're led by a very affluent individual, one of the guild lists, by the name of Bartholomew Avenant. The other two, unconfirmed origin, suspected off-worlders. And you were actually part of the sting operation that let them know that House Dimir was the one that let Krenko go. You were hanging out on one of the rooftops as they were looking around, seeing why House Dimir had let them know.
Okay.
So it has been a curiosity thing for you, but your task is to find them and to let them know a few pieces of information.
Okay, I can do that. Does the top have any particular idea where off-world this group has gone?
You have a good set of skills. Use it.
Understood.
And with that, the informant just lets you go.
All right. And I'm going to assume that since I was part of that sting operation, I'm aware of this group. I know where Bartholomew lives.
Yep.
Correct? That's going to be the first place I go. So I'm going to go try and find his place to get in and gather as much information on him as I can, since I know I have a confirmed location that I know he spends a lot of time.
So going in, you can see that this place has been overrun by the Azorius. Like, this is officially a crime scene.
Okay. Can I see, is there any sort of way that I can sneak in without being caught by them, just to snoop and see what's going on the inside of the building?
The Azorius, they're one for rules and regulations. They're willing, I wouldn't say they're willing to bend the rules for their own guild, but they're far less suspicious of those who look to be of their own guild.
Okay. I'm going to make sure I'm out of sight of anyone else in the area. I'm going to like duck into an alleyway or something like that, and I'm going to pull a glove off my left hand, and I'm going to lightly stroke a simple black ring on my left hand ring finger, and my whole form starts to shimmer, and in a flash, I suddenly look like your basic Azorius guard.
Okay.
I'm going to approach the house to try and get inside.
Approaching, you can see that there are two other guards that are standing in the front, a human and a Vidalkin, and they just give you the once over, let you in.
I nod to him as I walk past into the building.
And going into the building, there are diviners that are in here. There are a lot of different mages that are trying to figure out what has happened, because it was confirmed by House Dimir that they had gone in, and yet they're not here. You can see evidence that the door was broken down.
Okay.
This place is a standard, like, 3-floor place in Concordance. And in looking around, as you're looking, you see that there's the library, there's the larder, there's the kitchen. Going back into the library, there's a wide variety of books. And while most of them have covers that are similar to Ravnica stuff, I want you to make an investigation check.
It's going to be a dirty 20.
Synthetic 20, nice. In looking through these, the covers are all Ravnican books. It seems like he's hid information here pretty well, at least for someone not of House Dimir. But in looking through, you can see that there's actually a lot of books here that list other places. Dominaria, Kaladesh, all sorts of different areas that you've never heard of. And you see that there's a couple of books that are missing from the shelf. What sort of spells do you have?
I've got the Mage Hand Message, Minor Illusion Cantrip, and then Alarm, Detect Magic, Illusory Script, and Silent Image.
Okay.
I'm actually going to cast Detect Magic while I'm looking through this house to try and get... Cause I have my suspicion that this is where they left from the world, but I want to try and figure out if I can find where in the house exactly they were when they stepped.
So, you cast Detect Magic. The library's on the middle floor, and you get it's almost like a sensor ping going from downstairs.
Okay. I'm going to start moving through his house, trying to find the stairway to get down to the bottom floor.
By this point, most of the doors have been unlocked by the Azorius, so it just makes things all the easier for you in trying to hunt down what all has happened. And as you go downstairs, the residual magic of people leaving off-world probably wouldn't register to most magic detectors, but it very clearly registers for you as someone else who can planeswalk.
Is there anyone else in the basement level with me?
Currently, no.
Then I am going to also planeswalk and try and follow the trail of the like residue energy that they left behind. See if I can follow that through the Blind Eternities to locate where they went.
What is your Arcana bonus?
+3.
I need you to roll an Arcana check for me.
14.
14 total. Following that residue, it's interesting because there's 2 separate signatures. I need you to say high or low.
I'm going to go low.
The 2 signals seem to diverge at some point.
Okay.
And tracking in the Blind Eternities is actually quite difficult, all things considered. I mean, there's not really like specific footprints to follow. It's less of like tracking and more of just following your gut. As you follow these signatures, you notice the divergence, and you continue following one of these 2 signatures.
All right.
You find yourself in a forest. I need you to roll a perception check.
22.
22? Looking around, you can see dark conifer trees, twilight sky. There's a big old, almost like volcano-looking thing to your south. And just a couple hundred feet to your left, there's a person who's walking away.
Suspecting, or I know that this is one member of the group. Have I picked up on her name at all in my following of this group?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I am going to try and remain hidden so that she doesn't realize that I'm there, and I'm going to follow her.
Okay.
To see if she leads me to the rest of the group.
I need you to roll a stealth check.
24.
24. Suri, as you continue on, you can feel the displeasure that your patron has with you as you're continuing to walk to the west. It's interesting. Why would they, to your knowledge, your patron is from Innistrad. Why would they want you to go off-world unless there was something there that they wanted? And walking along, you're a couple hundred feet back away from where you initially came onto Innistrad. And there's just a sense of something that's going on, but it's nothing really. I mean, you're too introspective right now to really pay attention. So you continue going to the west. Keep going. And you walk, and it's really interesting. Other than nighttime, it's almost like a perpetual twilight here in Stencia. And so you barely notice as you're walking, introspecting, wondering, you barely notice as another individual starts coming up towards you. Erasmus, following behind, whoever this individual is, and you suspect that it's one of the off-worlders that you've been set to track.
Mm-hmm.
Something's off about them. And they're part of your mission. You're supposed to find the full group, not worrying too much about what's going on. I need you to roll a perception check to see if you can notice this individual walking up on Suri.
13.
13?
Uh-huh.
You do not notice this.
Sneaky boy.
Suri, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Ooh.
Oh. My wisdom's not as good if I remember. Oh, it's not bad. 18.
18 will pass, so you'll take half damage on this. You take 6 psychic damage as something intrudes into your brain. There's some other presence here.
Do I see Suri react in any way to this?
That's my question.
So, wait, does she hear anything, or is it just like a pain in the head, like a headache?
You didn't really notice anything beforehand. Now there's just a splitting headache, and as you turn, you can see that there's someone who has a blue glowing hand coming out at you.
Oh, geez. Suri turns around and she's like grasping her head, and she sees that, and she immediately like tries to refocus and reaches for her dagger.
Okay. Reaching down, are you grabbing just for a regular dagger or for your
the dagger?
Okay. So grabbing back onto Elbrus, the binding blade, you pull it out, and you can feel your patron in conflict, because this is a fantastic opportunity for them to demonstrate their power once again. And at the same time, you denied them previously. I need both of you to roll for initiative. Oh no.
Ooh, natural 20! It doesn't mean anything on initiative, but it's still cool.
I got a 14. Really high rolls this session by us. Like, go us, man.
It's because I picked up a new character. Erasmus or Bartholomew's rolls are not good anymore, and so.
Okay, I need totals.
24.
14.
Erasmus, you're gonna go first.
Woohoo. So I'm assuming that I can follow Suri's line of sight to like figure out who is doing like something's going on. Is that?
Yep, and it is not something at all that you expected. What you see attacking Suri, attacking your target, is none other than the living guild pack Jace Bellerin.
Oh, what? No, okay. And Erasmus, he's never met Jace in the realm of Planeswalking. He just knows him as the guild pact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, boy,
it's been suspected by your group that Jace Bellerin is a planeswalker, but it's never been confirmed.
This definitely confirms it. Shoot, I gotta decide how scared of this guy Erasmus would be.
That's a good question.
What spells do I have?
Suri does not recognize him, right?
No.
Cool.
Okay. I'm assuming... Can I tell if he's noticed me at all?
It doesn't appear that he has.
Okay. Oh, interesting. This could be a very... Ooh. Okay. I'm going to try and sneak... I'm going to pull out my short sword, first of all, so I'm armed. And then I'm going to sneak up, like, around to try and get a sneak attack on him.
Okay. Interesting. This is fun. It's fun pulling out a legendary creature.
Right off the bat. Jeez.
Jace is going to use one of his legendary actions to cast a spell.
I am afraid.
Yeah, I would be. Because That save DC is pretty high.
No.
The only monster stats I know are the normal dinky monsters, not legendary ones.
Suri, I need you to make another saving throw for me, please. Wisdom again.
Oh no, I got an 8.
Ooh.
As you are looking at this individual, there's some sort of blue glow that comes out of their hands again. Erasmus, you can see that Suri's eyes go completely iridescent blue. It seems as though Jace has her in a mind control circumstance.
This is really bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Erasmus, that's the end of your turn. It is now Jace's turn, and he is going
do I
to
not
command
get to attack?
You weren't quite close
Oh,
enough to get an
okay.
attack in,
Gotcha.
because you just pulled out a short sword. Then he used a legendary action at the end of your turn to cast Crown of Madness onto Suri. As it goes to Jace, he looks at Suri, points a finger over at you, Erasmus, and says, "Kill him."
No! Ah! This is not good for my mission.
Priorities.
And then Jace is going to use a Mind Blast attack. Erasmus, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
It'd be really funny if I still looked like an Azorius guard right now.
To my knowledge, you do.
Oh! That's a 7.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was very thrown off by that command.
That will be 24 points of damage.
Oh! No, thank you.
Oh my, 24?
What is it with you trying to take out my characters in like the first session I play them? Come on.
I don't know what's up with that, but it's super interesting, isn't it? I think this has happened in every campaign that you've had with me.
What the heck? You just have it out for me.
So it would appear. Suri, with that, it will go to your turn. Now, you can feel... you feel violated, first off.
Oh, that's no good.
There's an intrusive presence in your head that has basically pushed you out. And it's told you to go and attack someone that was following you, which is kind of interesting because someone was following you.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
As you go closer, you're not quite to the point where you have range on them unless you want to use your Eldritch Blast cantrip, which this voice compels you to do.
Is there anything I can do to fight it, or I just gotta do what I gotta do?
I think you gotta do what you gotta do right now, bud.
All right, I'll cast Eldritch Blast at him with the full agonizing blast damage.
All right, roll to attack.
Oh jeez, I got a 17 on like unbuffed or whatever, unboosted.
Oh no.
Yep, that hits.
I need you to roll a d10 and add your agonizing blast.
This is what I get for telling you that I'm really excited to play this character.
This is what the universe decides to do to you. It's not me.
I'm just not meant to play this character.
Well,
I guess.
Luckily, I rolled a 1 on the damage, and so that's plus plus 5 damage to the 1, so 6.
Oh my gosh.
How much HP are you at this point?
1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Suri, you get to make another saving throw because it is the end of your turn against the Crown of Madness. You do get to do so at advantage because your patron is going to help you out.
Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, it's a good thing I'm rolling with advantage. Nice. This is a wisdom save?
Yes.
18.
18. Looking at how you just randomly went and attacked someone, it shocks you out of this, and your patron, there's something else that goes on with this. I need you to tell me high or low.
Low, please.
This could be really interesting. I got a 72
What?
on a percentile.
Oh, okay. I was like, what kind of roll was that?
Take 72 damage now.
No.
Oh, God.
I am not quite that rude. If you were jumping off a cliff, maybe.
20 arcane missiles.
This is interesting. I need to decide how this works out. Because it's not very often that your patron makes themselves super manifest. And so rather than you getting control, your patron takes control.
Oh.
So your eyes flip from blue, black to regular, and they go flat black. Shadows seem to coalesce around you. And as the shadows coalesce, your form seems to change as you grow larger and larger, and you take on the form of a very large black demon.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cool. And that's like exactly how I was picturing it, with the black eyes and everything and like black veins popping out.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's full blown like Attack on Titan. You've gone absolutely berserk. Erasmus, it is your turn.
I don't even know how to react to everything that's happening right now.
You are a bit player in a thing that is way beyond your reach.
Yeah, this is not what I expected to. Okay. You said I still look like an Azorius guard, right?
I figured as much.
That's hilarious to me. Azorius guard shows up on Innistrad and Jace is like, "You don't belong. Die." Okay. How close am I to Jace?
You are within attacking distance. As to whether or not you want to be that close is the question.
That is a question. Okay, this is a desperation effort here. I am going to run directly at Jace, and I am going to attempt a grapple. Like, try to get around him and, like, get my hands around him. So that I have, like, the goal is to grapple him in a way that I have access to exposed skin.
I need for you to roll an athletics check.
That's a 10.
That's better than his 5.
Yes! Okay.
So you manage.
Okay. And that was my action, right? Was to grapple him?
Yes.
Okay. Then hopefully I survive to my next turn.
Jace is going to try and break the grapple.
Do I roll another athletics? Or is it just
you can,
him?
Yes, this is just athletics for you.
Okay. Not going to roll that one. Let's roll this one. This one's been pretty good to me today. Woo. They are all betraying me. That was a 5.
And this time he got a 10. So he squirms, and in some way, it's like he affects your brain, makes you think that he's still in your grapple.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, you have no pressure against anything, and you can see that he's about 20 feet away. Suri, coming to your turn, you are not currently in control.
All right, that's kind of what I figured.
As you look from behind your own eyes, you can feel your patron taking more control than they have in just about any time that you've had with them. There's been a couple of other moments, but it's not been this excessive. It's like in the blink of an eye, they have Jace by the throat, grab him, and you can see, take a perception check for me.
Okay. 14.
14. You can see that on Jace's hip, there looks to be a journal that is very different from the rest of his garb. A lot of his clothing is blue, but this book on his hip, it almost looks like an Innistrad book. As your patron starts choking the life out of Jace, just sucking out of him, we're going to switch back to Erasmus's turn.
The position that Demon Suri has Jace, is she like holding him up in the air, or she just got him like down on the ground where I would still have access to him?
She's got him up in the air, probably about 7 to 10 feet up. Like if you were to stand directly under Jace, you could get hidden. But do you want to be that close to this thing?
Even bigger than I was expecting.
No, I am going to recognize that I am out of my depth here, and while the demon is distracting the guild pact, I am going to slink back into the bushes and take the hide action to try and like get out of their sight.
Hey, roll a stealth check for me.
Come on, you're the last die that hasn't betrayed me. Why are they all doing this to me? Luckily, that's a good roll. 13.
They're like, this is a backup character. You shouldn't be playing this right now.
They're like, they realized, they were like, this is great. Oh, wait, that's not the normal character. So yeah, 13.
Decent. Jace is going to... Ooh, how does he want to do this? So at the end of your turn, he's going to use his set of legendary actions. He's going to do a Mind Blast attack. So, Demon Suri, I need you to make a intelligence saving throw. You're going to add 5 to this roll.
Dang, that's big. Flat 10.
Okay, so the demonic form is going to take some damage. It's not good.
And this damage isn't felt by Suri at all.
This is not felt by Suri at all. This is 22 points of damage to the demonic form as your patron seems to reel from this attack. You have another opportunity to break free of his grasp if you would like.
At this point, Suri, I think, has put a lot more trust in her patron, at least for this specific situation. Like she thinks her patron has it handled.
Okay, so going to Jace's turn, he's going to try and break the grapple, which fails actually. So your patron still has him up in the air, and as you continue to look, you are giving Jace as much attention as you can from within whatever's your patron is doing. You notice the book, and now you can see he doesn't look to be himself. Like his eyes are clouded in the same way that yours were after he cast a spell on you.
Oh.
Do you want to make any suggestions to your patron as to what they should do?
Could I inquire if he notices that is happening?
Reaching inside, you ask this question, and you can hear the voice of your patron come back and say, "It doesn't matter. They were going to kill you. You're mine."
Suri takes a few seconds and then just responds, "Understood."
Okay, so Suri, you asked your patron if they noticed this. Do you have any suggestions as to what they should do?
I kind of want to... Is there any way we could read his mind or get information from him before killing him? That's what I want to know.
There's a way to do that.
As much as possible out of him.
You say, let's at least get something out of him. And your patron, there's a almost... You swear that if you could see them, there would be a sinister grin on this demon's face. And Erasmus, you can see almost like a Venom-style smile starts going, where it's absolutely unnaturally wide.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and you're now thinking, what did I sign up for? Because, dear listener, you may not know this. The players, they give me their backstory, and I twist it. I use it against them. And our poor warlock. I love warlocks. I love what I can do with them. I love the sort of story shenanigans that I can pull off and have it be, it's their patron. This demon avatar, massive grin, has Jace Bellerin by the throat. And Suri, because you're on the inside of this, you can feel a little bit of what your patron is doing as the mental tendrils reach out towards the consciousness of Jace Bellerin. There's a barrier on the outside of it. Something has control over him already.
Okay.
I need you, Suri, to make an intelligence check for me.
Is this without the +5?
This is without the +5 because you're doing something and your patron is doing something. It's basically you're doing the help action for your patron right now.
All right, that's a 14 on the intelligence.
And then I need to do a save for Jace. Oh, that's exactly how I wanted this to go. Something snaps. The demon reaches in and now has Jace by the brain. Something changes in Jace's demeanor. And now it's going to be a question of, can you hold your patron back? Erasmus, it is your turn. You can see that something has changed in the dynamic of the battle.
Okay. Erasmus, from his vantage point in the bushes, he's going to observe these two combatants. start asking himself the question, who is the biggest threat to my mission and to the Dimir? And it was originally Jace. That was the biggest threat, and that's why he attacked him first. But now, after seeing what Suri has become, he is very much questioning whether he should even let this girl live. And so he is going to pull out his crossbow, load it up, and fire a shot aimed at the wrist of the hand holding or choking Jace out in an attempt to make the demon drop Jace.
Okay. I need you to make an attack check for me.
Natural 20.
No.
Yeah, I just rolled natural 20 with the D&D Beyond dice, which makes it a 26 total.
I need you to roll for damage, and this is a critical.
And so, remind me again how criticals work. Is it...
You roll the damage dice twice,
okay,
and you'll add the modifier once. Plus sneak attack.
Plus sneak attack. Oh my gosh! Rogues are awesome! I'll roll the sneak attack in a second. So that's going to be 18 just on the attack. Then sneak attack, I will add 4. So it's going to be 22 points of damage.
All right. So this is just right to the wrist.
Yeah.
And so it's less of... You're used to like solid thunks as things go into meat or wood or stone or what have you. This almost seems to pass right through. But it does so in a way that almost ruptures this thing. Suri, your health total will be reduced to 1 HP as your patron almost leaves.
Just like completely out of like head and body?
Yep. So you drop to the ground, collapse in a heap. The shadows go back to their regular positions. This avatar form is no more, and your patron, rather than dying, sucks the life essence out of you and says, "Don't forget this."
Oh, that's so cool.
We are officially out of initiative. Jace Bellerin, restored, looks at the two of you. I'm sorry about that. You look like you're from here, pointing at Suri. You look like you're from House Dimir.
I still look like an Azorius guard.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't out loud said I drop it, so I'm assuming I still do.
I think it only lasts for like an hour.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Yeah, so it would have been more than an hour at this point. At some point, you would have just shifted back. No real change for you.
Even though he is changed, and he obviously probably is not going to attack us again, Erasmus has loaded his bow with another arrow and is holding it, kind of between the two of them, so whichever one moves first, he can quickly make the adjustment to fire if he needs to. So he's ready for another attack, but he's not attacking.
Okay. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Jace looks at the two of you. Absolute shock. Do you know where we're at? I was looking for... I had found Castle Markov. Found this there, and he pulls out this book. And I'm trying to find the owner. Do either of you know what this is?
Erasmus won't say anything. He's just going to glance over at Suri and then back at Jace and remain silent.
Suri's on the ground and she looks up at what he's holding, and then she just looks around, dazed and confused after what just happened to her and to her body. And then does she recognize the book?
No.
Okay. It's so hard for me to think right now. It doesn't look familiar to me, but maybe this could help. And she pulls out the book from Bartholomew's house, assuming that's still on her person.
Mm-hmm. And as you pull out the set of scripture from Innistrad, Jace basically, he reaches down, asks, "May I?"
Of course.
Holds the two books and is literally just skimming through both of them. Well, let's see what he rolls for this.
Double booking it?
He's double booking.
Oh, man.
But it seems like this is no trouble for him. He looks at the two books and he says, closes them both. Nope, this isn't really going to help. Thank you, though. Do you two need a place to stay? You look pretty rough. If I did that, I do apologize.
If you did that. What do you mean if? You did do this. Why should we trust you?
Because, as you would know, there are magics that can affect people's mental capacity, and I was under such an effect.
I thought I saw something, but it was all hazy and red and dark. And as she's saying this, she grabs her head like it's kind of aching a little.
Regardless of whether or not you were under control, I don't know you, and so I don't trust you. And he's going to try and hide the fact that he recognizes Jace.
I need you to make a deception check.
All right. That's a good one for me. And I rolled a 19. That's going to be 26.
Yeah, he's picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, dang it. I thought I rolled good.
You did roll good. He's picking up what you're putting down. He absolutely believes that you do not know him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Sorry, I kind of need to go on my way then. Any other responses?
He's going to keep the bow trained on, not on Erasmus. He's going to train the bow on himself. He's going to keep his bow aimed at Jace until Jace is out of sight.
Okay, and Jace walks away.
Wait, before you leave, do you know the direction of the nearest town or settlement? Like,
Because of the way that Jace is set up in here, he actually seems like he knows quite a bit. Unless I miss my guess, we are in the outer part of Stencia. North of here would be Markov Manor. Well, no. It's interesting because, well, I've been a little bit all over the place recently. Falkenraths are relatively nearby. Markovs are more to the south, I think. It's interesting. I'm heading for Nephalia, and he points towards the direction that you were walking. I'm going to continue this way. If I were to guess, the village of Lamas would be just around the lake south of here. That would probably be the biggest town.
all right. I appreciate the information. Thank you.
It's relatively little for what I feel like I've put you through.
I mean, at least you're trying to do something about it.
It's not very much. I seriously, you're just, it's uncanny, your attire as he looks at Erasmus. Sorry, something else that I know. Which is frankly too much. Anyway, how would he address Suri? I think it would just be ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, is there anything else I can do for you, considering the absolute strange set of circumstances we're under?
I'm just in a lot of pain after I'm not sure what happened. I remember planeswalking here and then
and he perks up as you say that. Planeswalking? You're a walker?
Not experienced by any means or not used to it. But yes.
That's interesting in its own right. Do you know of any other planeswalkers?
Suri looks around and she just says, not that I know of.
Deception check.
He's trying to avoid that.
Erasmus is like mentally staring daggers at her right now. Like, what are you doing? You're giving up so much information.
Oh, jeez. 10.
High or low?
No. Hi.
It's not by very much, but Jace sees through this. He's like, I can appreciate keeping secrets. I've kept a fair few myself. I'm relatively experienced as a planeswalker, so if you need any help, will you let me know? And he holds out his hand like he's offering you something.
Suri reaches out her hand to accept it.
And he just drops a single stone into your hand that has a set of runes and something that almost looks like an ear.
Hmm.
You can use this to contact me whenever you like.
Okay, I think I've seen one of these before. I'm fairly sure I know how to use it.
It's pretty simple. Just be aware of the word limit.
Oh, of course.
And with that, he's going to start walking. I think that's where we're going to end off tonight. relatively unsatisfactory, but at the same time, super interesting to see what happens with Suri.
That was a lot.
Is planeswalking supposed to be a big secret? Like, are they supposed to be hush-hush if they're a planeswalker? Because
it's pretty exclusive.
Oh, crap.
There's no written rule that you're not supposed to tell people. Obviously, Bartholomew in episode 1 was very loudly proclaiming, like, yeah, I've been to other worlds. What of it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's more of Erasmus was upset because he understands the importance of sharing information and giving information, all that. So, like, Suri sharing the information is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't want to, like, accidentally do something dumb or out of character, which I feel like I've already done a couple times.
That's part of the fun of D&D is the difference between yourself and your character.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the demon, like, if you had missed that shot, I think Suri probably would have started trying to fight back the demon, or like thinking about what her main like priorities are, like with her family, or mainly her father and her father's killers / captors. But man, that was so cool. Oh, that makes me so excited.
D&D Beyond was on my side with that attack. Holy cow.
Yeah,
I think you rolled like below a 10 once.
Yeah, there were a couple rolls that I was like, gosh dang it. But like the important ones, my dice came through for me for the most part.
That's how it goes for you, like, all the time, though.
I guess that's true. In your games, that's true. I've been in games. This is my famous story. I tell everyone this to prove how bad I can be at rolling. I was playing a system where it is statistically nearly impossible to crit fail. And I crit failed. The dice gods are fickle when it comes to my rolls. Sometimes they like me, sometimes they don't.
I found it interesting because there are several plot threads that are going on right now. And Suri's patron is, to me, one of the most interesting, in seeing the influence that whatever this thing can have over her.
That's scary.
It's scary. Oh, yeah.
Is that what her patron looks like the demon she became?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, that's sweet. For some reason, I was just picturing, I don't know why, I just pictured like a big red eyeball with like red spikes around it and stuff. Like, super generic, but like that's way cooler, and it like goes so much better.
I have got something very specific, and it's built into the MTG lore. I have dropped the name of the card several times in this session today.
Oh.
It's the name of the card for the picture that I sent you of what the dagger looks like.
Oh, okay.
Must resist urge to look it up.
And it is a flip card, and it really is super interesting because the one side is the dagger, and the other side is the other picture that I displayed today that shows the demon.
Really? Oh my goodness. That's so cool.
Thank you all for joining us in this episode of Fireside Dice. This podcast is produced by Realms of Roleplaying, and all music used in this program was produced by Alexander Nakarada of Serpent Sound Studios. We'll see you all in the next episode.